Victimology, Theories and Applications, Chapter 2, Measurement of Crime. Case example, Norway massacre of 69 people. Teenagers attending summer camp, bombing of Oslo government building, goal to decimate cultural Marxism. Crime and victimization databases, measurement of crime, uniform crime reports, incident-based system, prisoner statistics, court surveys, measurement of victimization, national victimization surveys, international victimization surveys. Uniform crime report, collects basic information about the most serious crime committed. UCR began in 1931. The task of implementation was assigned to the FBI. Advantages, data are compiled annually from all over the U.S., standardized crime definitions, large amounts of data are collected providing for patterns of crime and criminals. Disadvantages, statistics are for reported crimes only, may contain incomplete or manipulated data, lack of data on victims and offenders. It cites data on those who are arrested. Critics suggest the UCR underreports the true level of crime. National Incident-Based Reporting System, NIBRS, collects data on the crimes known to the police, but the data are not aggregated. Data collected on 53 different dimensions, including specific offenses, victim and offender characteristics, type of property lost or recovered. Range of offenses on which data are collected was expanded beyond UCR. Advantages of NIBRS. Data collection is not restricted to a limited number of offense categories. Offense definitions can meet state, local, and national reporting needs. Details on individual crime incidents, offenses, offenders, victims, property, and arrests can be collected and analyzed. Arrests and clearances can be linked to specific incidents and offenses. Distinctions can be made between attempted and completed crimes. Linkages can be established between variables for examining interrelationships between offensive, offenders, victims, property, and arrestees. Detailed crime analysis can be made within and across law enforcement jurisdictions. Strategic and tactical crime analyses can be made at the local and regional levels. Challenges in measurement of crime. Definitional challenges. Hierarchy rule, most serious of several crimes is scored. Reporting challenges. Awareness of crime, fear, confidence in police. Policing practices. Is the report considered a crime? National Prisoner Statistics Program, NPS. Objectives and outcomes. To determine the physical capacity, staffing, and programming needs of the prison facilities. To identify and analyze major issues and trends in corrections related to facilities, such as the influence of sentencing patterns on occupancy. To obtain information on special issues, such as the number of inmate deaths related to HIV infections or the number of inmates that are illegal aliens. Adult Criminal Court Survey, Canada. Database of statistical information on appearances, charges, and cases in adult criminal courts. Age and gender of the accused, case decision patterns, sentencing information, amount of fine, and case elapsed time. Challenges in measuring crime with offender data. Limited to inmates or those who appear in court. Data skewed by multiple decisions in the system. Cannot make general conclusions regarding crime and victimization. Lack of consistent sample. Victimization surveys. Interviews with a random sample of people asking if they have ever been a victim of crime. Estimate the overall risk of becoming a victim. Monitor trends in crime victimization over time and across different geographical locations. Identity risk factors in becoming a victim. To assist in establishing priorities for service providers, such as police and victim support groups. Contribute to understanding long-term outcomes for victims of crime. Advantages of victim surveys in measuring crime. Crime causation. Availability of disaggregate data on crime events not known to police. Theory development. New way to view crime regarding theories of routine activity, opportunity theory, rational choice theory, etc. Consequences of crime. Identify the aftermath of crime as it affects the victims, families, and communities. New areas of study. Data on why victims call or do not call the police. Response to victims. Mobilization of resources other than police. Building victimology theory. Occurrence of crime events and risks of a criminal victimization. Control sample. Surveys include victim and non-victim sample to test theories. Offender populations. Composition and profiles of offenders not arrested. Repeat victimization. Effect on data collection and crime statistics. First-generation victimization surveys. Stages or generations of development. Each stage sought to improve methodology. First-generation victimization surveys. President's Commission on Crime in mid-1960s. NORC survey targeted 10,000 households and asked to report on incidents in the past year. Results of this survey claimed the URC underreported crime by about 50%. Second-generation victimization surveys. Sought to correct problems identified in the first-generation surveys. Record checks, comparing data with police records. Reverse record check, finding victims' names in police reports and contacting them for a survey. Forward record check, asking people in the survey if they contacted police about the incident. Third-generation victimization surveys. National Crime Survey, NCS, was initiated in 1972 with a probability sample of 72,000 households. Households were to be contacted every 6 months for a total of 7 interviews. Many of the concerns from the first and second-generation surveys were addressed and corrected in this stage. Fourth-generation National Crime Victimization Survey. Concerns were again addressed about wording, bounding, memory decay, etc. Results of NCVS indicate improved data regarding victim-offender relations when crime is not a non-stranger. NCVS is the primary source of information about the characteristics of criminal victimization and the number and types of crimes not reported to law enforcement. NCVS designed with 4 primary objectives. Develop detailed info about the victims and consequences of crimes, estimate the number and types of crimes that are not reported to the police, provide uniform measures of selected types of crimes, permit comparisons over time and types of areas. Underreporting still remains a problem. NCVS 2009 Summary of Findings. Men more likely to be victims of violent crime. 70% of all violent crime against women by known offender, 45% of men. 50% of violent crimes and 40% of property crimes reported to police. Highest rates of violent crime against blacks. 58% of violent crime occurs within a mile of the victim's home. National Family Violence Survey. Using the conflict tactics scale. Considers physical assault, psychological assault, and negotiation. Slightly higher rates of violence committed by women than men. Discrepancies between NFVS and NCVS. Canadian General Social Survey. Aboriginal people as victims and offenders. Crime prevention measures taken by Canadians. Family violence in Canada. Hate-motivated crime. Seniors as victims of crime. Visible minorities as victim of crime. Criminal victimization in the workplace. Sexual orientation and victimization. Violence against women. Challenges in measurement of victimization. Sampling, recall, telescoping, when a respondent includes events from before the reference period. Repeated victimizations can be dealt with by bounding. Victim knowledge that the crime has been committed.